Well, yeah, look, I agree with you, Carol, as a former New Yorker myself. But the question, too, is, on these charges, I think the fact that Alvin Bragg let so many criminals out on the streets, essentially, and that New York has become this, incredibly unsafe place. We see the videos of it all the time. We see the headlines, and we see people prosecuted either for standing up for themselves or for other people, or in the Trump case for essentially the crime of, embarrassing Joe Biden. Surely people cannot buy that Alvin Bragg is not a political prosecutor.
Right. He didn't suddenly become very concerned about crime only when Donald Trump is concerned. It's exactly what you said. He's the type of prosecutor who does not prosecute crime, and yet he's found something to pin on Donald Trump, and he went for it. The fact that he succeeded again is very unfortunate. I think that we're going to see other prosecutions like this because, look, it doesn't only go one way. Obviously, Republicans are going to take the message that they should prosecute any Democrats who are, even borderline tied to any crime. So this is going to get into a tit for tat. I don't necessarily think that that's wrong either. I think that that's the way to end this kind of behavior, to show that both sides are capable of it. For a long time, only the Democrats have been.
Yeah, and though also just on the subject of New York and the voters, on the one hand, yes, okay, fine, it's become horribly crime-ridden, and as you say, a big city of Karens. But also last week, we did see the extraordinary scenes out of the Bronx, where Donald Trump went, and tens of thousands of people, ordinary New Yorkers, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, showed up in their numbers to support Trump. So is there a chance that maybe part of New York is actually on Trump's side here in this one?
Well, absolutely. I grew up in South Brooklyn. That's a very red Republican area. I grew up in a very immigrant-heavy area. Immigrants tend to be conservative. So these are absolutely New York voters who are voting for Trump. And he got a lot, even when you just look at the numbers, he got like 30% of the vote in New York last time, maybe a little bit higher than that. And that's a significant number of people, even though obviously that doesn't win you the state. So it becomes interesting to watch what he ended up doing in the Bronx and how many people did show up for him. The real interesting thing to me there isn't that there's so many people voting for Trump. Again, I think just numbers wise, they were always Trump voters in New York. We just don't really hear from them. The thing was that they were doing it in public with the MAGA hat on in the Bronx, saying, I don't care who recognizes me. I don't care who goes to my boss. I don't care which Karen sees me on TV. I'm going to support this man. So it's a bit that was very encouraging to see that they weren't afraid anymore.
Absolutely. That's always the crucial question. Karol Markowicz, thank you so much for joining us on the U.S. Report.